Pivi and Kabo. When birds were men and men were birds, Pivi and Kabo lived in an island far away called New Cladonia. Pivi was a cheery little bird that chirps at sunset. Kabo was an ugly black fowl that croaks in the darkness. One day Pivi and Kabo thought they would make slings and practice slinging, as the people of the island often do. So they went to a banyan tree and stripped the bark to make slings for their slings. Make strings for their slings. Next, they repaired to the riverbank to find stones. Kabo stood on the bank of the river, and Pivi went into the water. The game was for Kabo to sling at Pivi, and for Pivi to dodge the stones, if he could. For some time he dodged them cleverly, but at last the stone from Kabo's sling hit poor Pivi on the leg and broke it. Down went Pivi into the stream and floated along it till he floated into a big hollow bamboo which a woman used for washing her sweet potatoes. "What is that in my bamboo?" said the woman, and she blew in through the other end, and blew little Pivi at the other, like a pea out of a pea shooter. "Oh," cried the woman, "what a poor state you're in! What have you been doing?" "It was Kabo who broke my leg in the slinging game," said Pivi. "Well, I'm sorry for you," said the woman. "Will you come with me and do what I tell you?" "I will," said Pivi, for the woman was very kind and pretty. She took Pivi into a shed where she kept her fruit laid out for him, laid him on a bed of mats, made him comfortable as she could, and attended to his broken leg without cutting off the flesh down to the bone, as some people usually do. "You will be so, won't you, Pivi?" she said. "If you hear a little noise, you'll pretend to be dead. It is a black ant who will come and creep from your feet to your head. Say nothing. Keep quiet, won't you, Pivi?" "Certainly, kind lady," said Pivi. "I will lie as still as I can." "Next will come the big red ant. You know him?" "Yes, I know him. With his feet like the grasshoppers." "He will walk over your body up to your head. Then you must shake all your body. Do you understand, Pivi?" "Yes, dear lady, I shall do just as you say." "Very good," said the woman, going out and shutting the door. Pivi lay still under his coverings. Then a tiny noise was heard, and a black ant began to march all over Pivi, who lay quite still. Then came the big red ant, skipping along his body, and then Pivi shook himself all over. He jumped quite well again, and he ran back to the river, but looked into the water and saw that he was changed from a bird to a fine young man. "Oh, lady, look at me now! You changed into a man! Oh, so handsome!" "Will you obey me again?" said the woman. "Always. Whatever you command, I will do it," said Pivi politely. "And climb up to that coconut tree with only your legs, not using your hands." Now, the natives can run up coconut trees like squirrels, some using only one hand. Girls can do that, but few can climb without using their hands at all. "At the top of the tree you will find 2 coconuts. You must not throw them down, but carry them in your hands, and as you must descend as you went up, using your legs only." "I can try at least," said Pivi, and up he went, but it was very difficult, and down he came. "Here are your coconuts," he said, presenting them to the woman. "Now, Pivi, put them in the shed where you lay, and when the sun sets to cool itself in the sea, and rise again not so hot, in the dawn, you must go and take the nuts." All day Pivi played about the river, as natives do, throwing fruits and silvery showers at one another. When the sun set, he went into the hut, but as he drew near, he heard sweet voices talking and laughing within. "What is that? People chattering in the hut. Perhaps they've taken my coconuts," said Pivi to himself. And in he went, and he found 2 pretty, laughing, teasing girls. He hunted for his coconuts, but none were there. Down he ran to the river. "Oh, lady, my nuts have been stolen," he cried. "Come with me, Pivi. There will be nuts for you," said the woman. They went back to the hut, where the girls were laughing and playing. "Nuts for you," said the woman. There are 2 wives for you, Pivi. Take them to your house. Oh, good lady, how kind you are. So they were married and very happy when in came cross old Kabo. "Is this Pivi?" said he. "Yes, it is. No, it isn't. It's not the same Pivi. And they're a kind of likeness. Tell me, are you Pivi?" "Oh, yes," said Pivi, "and I'm much better looking, and there are my 2 wives. Are they not beautiful?" "You're mocking me, Pivi. Your wives? How? Where did you get them? You, with wives?" Then Pivi told Kabo about the kind woman and all the wonderful things that happened to him. "Well, well," said Kabo, "but I want to be handsome too, and have 2 pretty young wives." "But how can you manage that?" asked Pivi. "Oh, you shall do the same things over again. Play at slinging, and this time you shall break my leg, Pivi." "With all the pleasures in life," said Pivi, who was always ready to oblige. So they went slinging, and Pivi broke Kabo's leg, and Kabo fell into the river, and floated into the bamboo, and the woman blew him out just as before. Then she picked up Kabo and put him in the shed, and told him what to do when the black ant came, and what to do when the red ant came. But he didn't. When the black ant came, he shook himself, and behold, he had a twisted leg and a humped back, and was as black as the ant. Then he ran to the woman. "Look what a figure I am," he said, but she only told him to climb the tree, as she had told Pivi. But Kabo climbed with both hands and feet, and he threw down the nuts instead of carrying them down, and put them in the hut. When he went back, he found 2 horrid old hags, wraggling and scolding and scratching. So he went back to Pivi with the 2 beautiful wives, and Pivi was very sorry, but what could he do? Nothing but sit and cry. So one day Kabo came and asked Pivi to sail in his canoe to a place where he knew were great big shellfish, enough to feed on for a week. And Pivi went, and deep in the crystal clear water they saw the monstrous shellfish, like an oyster, as big as a rock, and with the shell wide open. "We shall catch it and try it, and kipper it," said Pivi, "and give a dinner to all our friends." "I shall dive for it, and break it off of the rock," said Kabo, "and then you must help me drag it up to the canoe." There the shellfish lay and gaped, but Kabo, though he dived in well out of the way of the beast, up he came, puffing and blowing. "Oh, Pivi, I cannot move it. I tried. Jump in and try yourself." Pivi dived in with his spear, and the shellfish opened its shell wider yet, and sucked, and Pivi disappeared into its mouth, and the shell shut with a snap. Kabo laughed like a fiend, and then went home. "Where's Pivi?" asked the 2 girls. Kabo pretended to cry, and told how Pivi had been swallowed. "But dry your tears, my darlings," said Kabo. "I will be your husband, and my wives shall be your slaves. Everything is for the best, and the best of all possible worlds." "No, no," cried the girls. "We love Pivi. We do not love anyone else. We shall stay at home and weep for Pivi." "Wretched idiots," cried Pablo. "Pivi was the scoundrel who broke my leg and knocked me into the river." Then a little cough was heard at the door, and Cabo trembled, for he knew it was a cough of Pivi. "Ah, dear Pivi!" cried Cabo, rushing to the door. "What joy! I was trying to console your dear wives." Pivi said not one word. He waved his hand, and 25 of his friends came trooping down the hill. They cut up Cabo into little pieces. Pivi turned around, and there was the good woman of the river. "Pivi," she said, "how did you get out of the living tomb into which Cabo sent you?" "I had my spear with me," said Pivi. "It was quite dry inside the shell, and I worked away with the fish with my spear, till he saw reason to open a shell, and out I came." Then the good woman laughed, and Pivi and his 2 wives lived happily ever afterwards.